But the people who are really rocking and rolling and being consistent is not that many of us. So if you are one of those people and you want to be amongst like-minded people, Friends in Beauty is definitely the place where you want to be. And I'm not just saying that because it's mine, but it definitely is the place that you want to be, because like attracts like. And once we get together, it's so much that happens and so much that can happen. And I'm just the person that is creating the space for that to happen. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Akua Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives just like you on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Akua Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I'm so happy to have you here with me, and I hope that you are listening to this episode in high spirits and good health, and that you are somewhere cooling off, because it is hot as I don't know what in DC right now. So if you are somewhere warm, it is summertime. Like, I hope you are inside in AC or somewhere cool, just chilling. Before we jump into today's episode, I do want to remind you that if you are a friend in beauty, be sure to join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community. It's just a place for us to virtually network, share resources with one another, and just build community, which is really, really important. Also, we are on Apple Podcasts, so if you have an iPhone or iPad, some kind of Apple product, find Friends in Beauty. Please find us on Apple iTunes or the podcast app within Apple, and leave us a 5-star rating and review. I'll be so happy to know what you really think about the show. Also, follow us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty so you can stay updated on the show and just some other cool things that I like to drop on the Instagram page. And if you prefer to watch the interviews or watch the episodes instead of listening to them on a podcast app, find us on YouTube as well. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I need some more people on my YouTube, okay? So find us on YouTube and subscribe to us and all that good stuff. So today's episode, what I wanted to do for today's episode is actually tell you a story about how Friends in Beauty was even created in the first place. I think I've only told this story maybe one time during our virtual networking happy hour, but I thought it would be a good idea to share with you how I even came up with the idea for Friends in Beauty and how it has grown and how I continue to grow, I have plans. Got to get my words together. I have plans to continue to grow Friends in Beauty. So I wanted to come in and drop that for you. So without further ado, let me tell you this story about Friends in Beauty real quick. So the way that Friends in Beauty started, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning before I even knew Friends in Beauty was about to be a thing. So back in 2018, I was in a 6-month coaching program. My coach at the time, her name was Sonia Rodriguez. And I was in a coaching program with her because I needed help with developing a niche or niche, whatever. I needed help zeroing down on what I wanted to focus on with my business, which is really, really important because we all are pretty much in the same industry. So what's going to set us apart is our niche, or the things that are important to us, or the things that we're good at and that we like to focus on. So I enrolled in that program specifically for that reason. And the way that her program was set up at the time was that she was kind of moving us to hosting an event and launching our own coaching program. And I want to say at that time, I feel like I was the only one in the group for real, that was actually doing classes and stuff already. So as I was going through the program, it was kind of like I was learning and implementing at the same time. And let me tell you, it sounds like a cool idea, but Sonia, Sonia was so hard on me, which is like in retrospect, I'm so grateful for. She was so hard on me because, and it was a little bit difficult for me in the program because, like I said, I was actually learning and implementing, whereas some of the other people on the program were only learning to like implement in the future. So I'm actually going out there and like implementing the things in my classes, coming back with feedback. She's telling me, oh, you got to tweak this, tweak that. So at the time, it was like, oh my God, this is freaking crazy. But I digress. Sonia was an amazing coach, and she helped me to develop a lot of things and a lot of the foundation work for me to run my business right now. She was like so amazing. But she definitely helped me to focus on a niche. So I remember our first call together. I want to say we were on a call for like maybe 2 hours, just brainstorming and just trying to figure out like what makes me special, what's unique to my business that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about. You know, some people focus on branding, some people focus on Instagram, marketing. None of that stuff is my jam at all. It's stuff that I can do, but it's not something that I'm really like passionate about. So through conversation on that brainstorming call with her, we just started talking about all of the opportunities that I've gotten so far and how I used to be back and forth going to events and stuff like in New York, and how basically networking played and plays a really big role in the success of my business so far. Like when I say literally every big opportunity that I've gotten so far in my business, whether it's from Assistant Morel, working with Danessa, working on Black Opal, working with the Real Housewives of Potomac, going to San Francisco for a whole month, like all of the big things that I love to talk about have literally come from me networking, me meeting somebody personally, and getting an opportunity like that just from being myself, or from me meeting somebody and them pointing me in the direction of somebody who can give me a job. So we decided to stick with networking because a lot of people don't talk about networking, especially in the beauty industry. It's not something that a lot of people like to do. A lot of creatives are mostly introverts. So the idea of networking is just like, ain't gonna do it. Not gonna happen. All right. So landed on networking, and on that call we mapped out a whole like 6-week program on that call alone, and I was like super pumped and everything. So I forgot what month it was in 2018, but I definitely started with a 6-week program. I had, I don't know how many people, I want to say maybe 5 people that I started off with in my 6-week program. And this one was basically focused on like mindset. We went over different topics every week. It was like mindset, identifying your ideal client, how to build an email list, finding your clients through networking. So in that program, I definitely touched on networking, but it wasn't a whole thing on networking. So every week we went over different things. And as a part of that program, I hosted a 2-day boot camp because this program was specifically for makeup artists. So I hosted a 2-day hands-on boot camp. And as a part of the boot camp, I incorporated teaching them how to network and like diving in deeper into the networking portion, because I had this idea to try out some speed networking. I wanted to see how it was going to work. So what I did was, they were like my guinea pigs without even really realizing it. And I think they probably pushed me to do an event. But I think it was like day 2 of the boot camp. The last day, I sat them down and I had them do like some rounds of speed networking, and they absolutely loved it, because what it did was, like, even though they had been in the room with each other for like 2 days already, they didn't even realize how much they had in common past makeup, past the beauty industry. And just having them sit down and talk to each other for, I think the rounds were maybe like 5 minutes. So of course, when we do Friends of Beauty, it's much shorter. It's like 2 minutes and they be ready to kill me in there. But just from them sitting down and talking to each other one-on-one for 5 minutes, they realized that they had so much in common. And to this day, like bonds, like true bonds and sisterhood was like really formed in that room. We cried together, we laughed together, we had fun together, and that group, they know who they are. They hold a very, very special place in my heart. But they had a really good time with the speed network, and they were like, you should probably explore this a little bit more. And I'm like, you know what, I might do an event one day. This was like the summer, so I feel like it was like July 2018. I want to say it was July. From then, I went on to host another 6-week program. I developed a totally different program, and this one was called Beauty Networking Mastery, where I actually dedicated the 6 weeks to teaching them how to strategically network to find their dream clients and just to connect with people in the industry. And with that, I had a 3-day boot camp. And the reason I wanted to do this program too is because, like I said, networking plays a really big role in my business. But I started to come across a lot of people who did not have like beauty friends. Like I have beauty friends just from, being in the industry, meeting people on shoots and developing friendships, but they didn't have like those beauty friends who they can talk makeup with, talk photography with, bounce ideas off of. Like all of those things, they had like terrible experiences. Maybe I hear my DC accent trying to come out, trying to hold it back. They had terrible experiences, maybe trying to collaborate or meet people and all that good stuff. So I wanted to teach them like, okay, this is how you actually talk to somebody. This is how you reach out if you're doing it virtually. It was like a whole program from start to finish on like how to find events, how to identify your dream client, and some more stuff. And like I said, with this one, I had a 3-day boot camp. But when I was developing the program, like, brainstorming the elements that I wanted to have in my offer, my thought was, well, if I'm going to teach them how to network, maybe I should throw an event for them to actually network and implement everything that they learned. And that's exactly what I did. So on the first day of the boot camp, it was a Friday, I hosted the first Friends in Beauty speed networking event, and it blew me away because I still don't think I fully processed this and how big of a deal it is, but over 100 people registered and over 100 people actually showed up. And it's kind of rare, like if you throw events, you'll realize most of the time that, okay, all these people registered, that don't mean that all these people are going to show up, but damn near everybody showed up, and it was a huge, huge success. The speed networking rounds went flawlessly. I think they had like 2 minutes to talk to each other. They was about to cut my head off in there because they was enjoying it so much. But I really, really enjoyed hosting that event. That was in February of 2019, and since then we've hosted 5 different events. That was the first one. We also did a bus trip to the makeup show New York last year. We did a brunch. We did a holiday party and toy drive. And this year we had our first event in DC right before Corona shut us down. But we did have a whole Friends in Beauty tour planned out for 2020. I was about to hit like maybe 14 cities and some overseas spots too. But I'm looking forward to bringing that to you again, like next year or something. The tour is still, being planned, but in the midst of, Corona and everything like that, I was able to develop the Friends in Beauty podcast because I didn't want it to just to die out. Like not being able to do the events, I still wanted a way to reach people and for people to be able to tune in and tap in. So what really started out as just a way to support my students, that's how it really, really started out. But I really did want to create a space for creatives to just genuinely connect and network and build genuine relationships in the beauty community. Just like how I say in my intro, that is really the true purpose of Friends in Beauty, because I really feel like the events are still a reflection of me. So every time that somebody comes to Friends in Beauty, they always mention like, I had so much fun. Like I didn't feel like I was networking. It was like really laid back and really cool. Everybody was so nice and all of that good stuff. And I feel like that's a reflection of me because I'm really laid back. I like to have fun. If I'm going to network, I want it to feel natural. I don't want it to feel forced or anything like that. And what I love the most about what I'm doing with Friends in Beauty is the feedback that I get from people. I always hear people telling me about the different friendships that that were formed by coming to an event, or how they got their team to do a collaboration for a photo shoot, different jobs. I've actually had one of my models land ad campaign from, connecting with people through Friends in Beauty, a national ad campaign for a beauty company. Also, one of the young ladies who came on the bus trip to the Makeup Show New York, just by, implementing, because she was in my program, from implementing what she learned in my program, she was able to land a spot on this beauty brand's PR list right on the spot. Just right on the spot, from talking to the lady and shooting her shot and implementing what I learned. So that's what makes me proud, is when people actually go out here and implement the things, and just knowing that the environment that I created for these beauty industry creatives to flourish is really happening. So that's basically the gist of how Friends in Beauty was created. I definitely give a lot of gratitude, or show a lot of gratitude towards Sonia for helping me flush out those things, and for being so hard on me, man. Sonia was hard on me. She was not playing no games, okay? So I would be on that joint crying sometimes because I was so frustrated. But that's what coaching does too. It stretches you beyond your comfort zone, and I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. And with Friends in Beauty, I have plans for Friends in Beauty that span way beyond the podcast, way beyond events. So if you are not on board right now, don't be trying to catch up with us when we take off, okay? Make sure you join that Facebook community. Make sure you're following us on social media so you can stay updated. And I will get better with engagement and all of that good stuff. It's still a baby. Friends in Beauty is still a baby, but it's time to go big or go home, 2020 and beyond. So make sure you jump on this Friends in Beauty bandwagon while you can, okay? And that's pretty much it. That's how Friends in Beauty was created, just from me trying to support my students, and then it turned into something way bigger with me supporting the DMV beauty community here, with me having plans to take it nationally and internationally as well. So I do want to say that if you do have an idea, take some time to map it out. You just never know how big of a deal it could turn out to be. So if you've been sitting on something for a while, if you're not sure how it's going to go, the only way you're going to know if it's going to work is if you actually do it. It's not, if it's living in your brain, it's just going to stay there. So stop being stingy. Stop, get out of your head and just implement. And I promise, it's not going to be perfect. It might be close to perfect the first time, but it's not going to be 100% perfect, and that's okay, because everything is a learning experience. You host your first event, you host your first class or whatever, you learn from it, and each time that you execute it from then, it's just going to get better and better and better. And that's the same thing with Friends in Beauty. First event, second event, third event, it's just going to get better, better, and better. And I have oh my gosh, I have big plans for Friends in Beauty to just, take it to the next level and just build a real community amongst us, because the beauty industry really isn't that big. It may seem like it, but the people who are really rocking and rolling and being consistent is not that many of us. So if you are one of those people and you want to be amongst like-minded people, Friends in Beauty is definitely the place where you want to be. And I'm not just saying that because it's mine, but it definitely is the place that you want to be, because like attracts like. And once we get together, is so much that happens and so much that can happen. And I'm just the person that is creating the space for that to happen. So once these events get popping again, I'm going to let Rona decide when that's happening, because we on her time right now. Make sure you are in the building. Make sure you are spreading our message. Share this with your friends and family who may be in the beauty industry. And help us grow. When we grow, you grow. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode, this little story time about how Friends in Beauty was created. And I will talk to you next week in another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.